Hey there, and welcome to Boys Love Story, where we bring you touching BL school romances that will warm your heart and stir your emotions. Each episode on this channel is a unique journey of love. Whether it's sweet, slow burn, dramatic, or healing, our stories are crafted to make you feel seen and comforted. Today's story falls into the school BL genre and is all about young love, emotional growth, and moments that make your heart flutter. Title: The First Time He Held My Hand in the Schoolyard. Genre: sweet, emotional, romantic, coming of age. With a happy ending. So grab your headphones, get cozy, and let your imagination drift into a world where boys fall in love, quietly, boldly, and beautifully. The hallway was packed. Shoes scuffed against the floor, lockers slammed open and shut, and students buzzed with the energy of a Friday morning. Aki Hayama kept his head down, clutching his sketchbook to his chest as he tried to squeeze through the crowd unnoticed. But fate had other plans. A shoulder bumped him hard. Aki stumbled, and his sketchbook slipped from his hands, landing with a slap on the tile floor. The pages fluttered open like wings. "Ah!" Aki gasped, kneeling quickly to retrieve it. But someone else was already crouching beside it. He looked up and froze. Shun Takahashi. Popular, athletic, always surrounded by laughter. And right now, staring at Aki's open sketchbook. Shun's eyes flicked across the pages. Delicate pencil drawings of school corridors, quiet corners, students in motion, and a portrait of Shun himself. Aki's heart sank. No. Shun looked up and smiled. "You drew this?" "I didn't mean." Aki stammered, reaching out to close the book. "Please give it back." But Shun didn't tease. He didn't laugh. He just nodded and said, "You're really good." Aki blinked. "What?" No one ever came up here. It was his sanctuary. He unwrapped his simple bento and opened his sketchbook to a fresh page, pencil in hand. Then, the door creaked open. Aki glanced up, startled. Shun. Shun stepped onto the roof, squinting against the sunlight. "Whoa, nice spot," he said, walking toward Aki without hesitation. "I always wondered where you vanished during lunch." Aki's voice caught in his throat. "You followed me?" "Sort of." Shun grinned. "I figured you didn't like crowds." He sat down beside Aki, too close, and pulled out a can of juice. Aki blinked. "Why are you here?" Shun cracked the can open. "Can't I just want some peace and quiet?" Aki looked away. "This isn't a joke. People don't talk to me. Especially not people like you." Shun raised an eyebrow. "People like me?" Popular, loud, confident. There was a pause. Then Shun leaned back, arms behind his head, gazing at the sky. "You know, it gets tiring." "What does?" "Being what everyone expects." Aki glanced sideways. Shun's voice was softer now. "Sincere." Shun continued. "Everyone thinks they know me. I laugh, I run, I joke. But no one ever really sees me." Aki hesitated, then said quietly, "I see you." Shun looked at him, surprised. Aki blushed. I didn't mean it like, just through drawing, But Shun didn't laugh. He smiled. "That's the nicest thing someone said to me in weeks." Aki looked down at his sketchbook. "You really liked it?" "I loved it." The rooftop went quiet again. Only the breeze answered for a while. Then, without looking at him, Shun asked, "Can I come up here again tomorrow?" Aki blinked. "Why?" "Because I like talking to you." Aki hesitated, then nodded once. "Okay." Shun smiled, standing up and stretching. "Cool? It's a date." Aki's heart did something strange in his chest. As Shun disappeared back through the rooftop door, Aki was left staring at the now closed page of his sketchbook. And for the first time in a long while, he smiled. It started small. A glance here. A whisper there. At first, Aki thought he was imagining it. The way conversations dipped when he walked past. The quick look shot toward him in the hall. It wasn't unusual. He'd always been the quiet one, the weird one. The boy with a sketchbook who ate alone. But this felt different. Because now, he wasn't alone. "Hey, you want half of this?" Shun asked, holding out a rice ball. They were sitting under the rooftop railing again. The sun was warm on Aki's shoulders, but the heat didn't explain the nervous flutter in his chest. "I brought my own," Aki replied quietly. "But thanks." Shun grinned. "Suit yourself." They ate in silence for a moment. The comfortable kind. Shun had a way of filling the air with calm, even when he wasn't saying much. Aki found himself sketching him again, loosely, without thinking. Just the curve of his smile. The tousle of his hair. The way he leaned back as if the whole world belonged to him. "Are you drawing me again?" Shun asked, not even opening his eyes. Aki froze. "And no. Liar. Maybe." Shun chuckled. "Good. I like it when you do." Aki looked away, ears warm. He wanted to stay in this moment forever. But when they returned to class, the stares felt sharper. By the next week, the whispers had names. "That quiet guy. I heard he's obsessed with Shun. He's totally using him." Aki tried not to listen, but it was impossible. Even when they weren't speaking directly to him, their voices clawed at his skin. He noticed Hiroshi watching from across the classroom. Aki had never talked to him much, but he was always around Shun, hovering, laughing, trying too hard to be noticed. And now, glaring. "He's just a parasite," Hiroshi said loudly near the lockers. "Sketching Shun like that? Creepy as hell." Aki stood behind the corner, frozen. His hands tightened around his books. The worst part? Some of it, he believed. That night, Aki didn't go to the rooftop. The next day, Shun found him in the art room. "Hey," he said, leaning on the doorframe. "You ditched me." Aki didn't look up from his drawing. "I had work to do." "You always have work to do." Aki's pencil paused. Shun stepped inside. "Did I do something?" "No." "Then what is it?" Aki clenched his jaw. "You're popular, Shun. People look at you. They talk." "So?" "So they're talking about me now. And it's not good." Shun crossed the room, dropping into the chair beside him. "Let them talk," he said softly. "You don't get it," Aki whispered. "They like you. But I'm the weird one. The loner. They'll say I'm using you, or worse." Shun was quiet for a moment. Then, gently, "Are you using me?" Aki finally looked at him, eyes wide. "What?" "Of course not." "Then it doesn't matter." Shun smiled. "I don't care what they think. I like being around you. Isn't that enough?" Aki looked down, his throat tight. He didn't answer. Later that day, during gym class, the tension boiled over. It was hot. The floor of the gym was slick with sweat. And the air smelled like rubber and frustration. Aki wasn't athletic. He tried to stay out of the way. He had left his water bottle beside the bleachers, carefully tucked away. He returned from a round of running laps, panting, when he saw her, Emmy, standing over his things, nudging something with her foot. Before he could stop her, crash, his water bottle tipped over, right onto the large manila folder lying next to it. Aki froze. "No!" He ran over, dropping to his knees. The folder was soaked. His drawing, the one for the National Art Contest, was ruined. Water bloomed across the paper, blurring lines into meaningless gray smudges. Emmy gasped theatrically. "Oh no! Was that important?" Aki stared at the destroyed page, too numb to speak. "It was an accident," she said lightly, already walking away. "You really shouldn't leave things lying around." The art room was dark when Shun found him. Aki sat in the corner, arms wrapped around his knees, his sketchbook discarded beside him. Shun crouched down. "Aki!" No answer. He saw the ruined drawing, and the trembling in Aki's shoulders. "She did it on purpose," Aki whispered hoarsely. "I know," Shun said softly. "I worked on that for weeks. It was the one thing I thought I could be proud of." Shun didn't say anything at first. He just sat beside him. Then, quietly, "You're more than one drawing." Aki shook his head. "It's not just that. It's everything. The rumors. The stares. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for you to notice me." Shun looked at him. "Do you want me to stop?" Silence. Then, barely audible, "No." Shun reached out and placed a hand gently on Aki's head, fingers combing lightly through his hair. "I won't let them tear you down," he said. "You're not alone anymore. Okay?" Aki's breath caught in his throat, and for the first time, he leaned into Shun's touch. It wasn't supposed to feel like this. Aki had told himself not to expect too much, not from someone like Shun. Not from the boy everyone loved. Not from the boy who could smile at anyone and mean it. Or maybe he didn't mean it at all. Maybe that was the problem. "I saw you walking with Emmy this morning," Aki said, voice low, eyes fixed on his sketchbook though he wasn't drawing. She was laughing. Shun blinked, confused. "Yeah? I helped her pick up her bag. It fell down the stairs." "Right." A pause. "You always do that," Aki mumbled. "Do what?" "Help everyone. Smile at everyone. Be perfect." Shun frowned. "Is that a bad thing?" "I don't know," Aki said tightly. I can't tell when it's real." Shun tilted his head, sensing something deeper. "Aki, do you even see me, Shun?" The words came out sharper than intended. Aki clenched his fists, shaking slightly. "I'm not like the others. I don't laugh at your jokes to make you like me. I don't want your attention if it's something you give to everyone." Shun stared at him, startled. "Where's this coming from?" "You're kind to everyone," Aki said. "So how am I supposed to know I'm different?" Shun didn't answer, and Aki, suddenly overwhelmed by the silence, grabbed his bag and stood. "Forget it." He pushed past Shun, heading toward the stairwell, but a hand caught his wrist gently. "Come with me," Shun said. They walked in silence, past classrooms, through the back hallway rarely used by anyone, until they reached a dusty door marked "Music Room, Closed." Shun pulled it open. Inside, the room smelled like old wood and memories. The piano in the corner sat untouched, keys yellowed by time. Dust clung to the windows. "This place hasn't been used in years," Shun said. "No one comes here anymore." He sat on the floor, back against the wall, and looked up at Aki. "I come here when I need to be alone." Aki hesitated, then joined him. "Why are you showing me this?" Shun took a breath. "You said I don't see you, but you're the only one I actually feel seen by." Aki glanced at him, startled. Shun's voice was softer now, stripped of the usual charm. "People think I have everything figured out, that I'm easygoing, always smiling. But half the time, I'm just trying to keep up the version of me everyone expects." He looked at the ceiling. "It's exhausting." Aki didn't speak, but his hand, resting near his knee, curled into a gentle fist. Shun smiled faintly. But when I'm with you, I don't feel like I have to pretend. You don't ask for anything. You don't try to impress me. You just see me. Aki swallowed, throat tight. Then, why do you still smile at everyone? Because it's easier than disappointing them, Shun admitted. But I don't want to be that way with you. Aki turned to face him fully now. Then what do you want from me? Shun's eyes met his. I want you to keep drawing me. Aki blinked. What? I've never liked the way I look in pictures. But the way you draw me, it's the only version of myself I actually recognize. He laughed quietly. Can I be your model? For your next painting? Aki stared, speechless. You'd really want that? I do, Shun said. Not for anyone else. Just for you. Aki didn't trust himself to speak, so he just nodded. A moment passed. Then another. Then slowly. Aki reached into his bag and pulled out his sketchbook. He flipped to a blank page. Sit still. Shun grinned. They stayed in that room for nearly an hour. Shun sat by the window, light catching in his hair. Aki worked in quiet concentration, pencil dancing across the paper. At one point, Shun whispered, Am I special to you? Aki paused. The pencil stopped. He didn't look up. You are? He said. That's why I got scared. Shun's voice was barely audible. Me too. Outside, the whispers hadn't stopped. But inside that quiet, dusty room, a truth had been drawn. Line by line, glance by glance, etched not just onto paper, but into something far deeper. Something neither of them had the words for yet. But maybe, just maybe, they were starting to feel it. The hallway felt louder than usual. Too many eyes. Too many whispers. Aki clutched his backpack tightly, gaze locked on the floor. He should have been happy. The art contest had announced its winners that morning. His painting, the portrait of Shun sitting by the window in the old music room, had taken first place. It should have felt like a dream. But instead, he made that painting? Someone hissed behind him. Isn't that Shun in it? The popular guy from Class B? It looked kinda romantic. Aki's steps quickened. By lunch. The rumor had spread like wildfire. It wasn't just about the contest now. It was about them. Aki sat alone on the rooftop again. Not even sketching this time. Just staring at the gray sky. Trying not to cry. Maybe it had looked romantic. Maybe he shouldn't have used that soft lighting. Maybe he shouldn't have drawn Shun looking so real. Idiot! Aki muttered under his breath. You should have picked a flower still life like last year. Downstairs, in the middle of the second-floor hallway, Shun faced the storm head-on. Hiroshi was waiting for him near the vending machines. Arms crossed, voice loud enough for a crowd. So you were the guy in that painting, he said, tone sharp. Shun said nothing. You really let that weirdo draw you like some lovesick prince? Hiroshi smirked. No wonder people are talking. Someone snickered nearby. Shun's jaw tensed. But then, calmly, clearly, he replied, Yeah. He drew me. Hiroshi raised an eyebrow. You're not even gonna deny it? No. Shun looked him dead in the eye. Why would I deny something that mattered? The hallway went quiet. And then, Shun walked away. Aki was still on the rooftop when the door creaked open behind him. He didn't turn around. Go away, he said quietly. But footsteps came closer. Then a hand, warm, firm, wrapped around his own. Fingers threading between his. Aki froze. Stop running from me, Shun said gently. Aki couldn't lift his head. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I wasn't trying to. I just drew what I saw. I know, Shun said. That's what makes it beautiful. Aki finally looked up. But now they're laughing at you too. I ruined everything. Shun shook his head. You didn't ruin anything. They were always going to talk, whether we gave them something to look at or not. His thumb brushed against the back of Aki's hand. I don't care if they stare. Let them. But you're Shun. Aki whispered. You're not supposed to be seen with someone like me. Shun smiled faintly. Then maybe it's time they saw the real me. Aki's throat tightened. You're not ashamed? Of you? Shun leaned closer. Never. Silence stretched between them. Then, softly, slowly, Shun said, Stay with me, even if they stare. Aki stared at him. The words sunk in like a warmth he hadn't let himself feel until now. Okay, he whispered. And for the first time, they stood together in the open. On that lonely rooftop. No hiding. No turning away. Shun still held his hand. Like it was the most natural thing in the world. Later that afternoon, as students filtered out of school in groups, Aki walked beside Shun through the courtyard. Not hand in hand this time. Just quietly side by side. But even then, something had changed. They passed Hiroshi by the gates. He sneered, but said nothing. Aki's heart beat fast. He braced himself. But Shun? Shun didn't flinch. Instead, once they turned the corner, just out of view, Shun reached out again. And this time, in broad daylight, in the middle of the path where anyone could see, he took Aki's hand and held it tight. Let them stare, he said with a quiet grin. I see you. That's all that matters. The school's end-of-term festival buzzed with color, laughter, and heat. Aki stood at the corner of the gymnasium, helping pin up the last student artwork for the art club's annual exhibit. His fingers trembled slightly, though it wasn't because of the tape. It was because of the crowd. He could feel the stares. The whispers hadn't disappeared since the contest. Especially after Shun had held his hand on the rooftop last week. Most people hadn't seen it. Not clearly. Just heard rumors. Rumors that followed Aki like shadows in the hallway. The festival should have been fun. It should have been a distraction. But all Aki could feel was exposed. Wow! Look at this one! A voice said too loudly behind him. Aki turned slowly. 3 second-year students stood by the canvas of Shun's portrait, the award-winning one. Pretty intense, huh? One of them snickered. Almost like he was in love with his model. Another leaned in. Wasn't the artist that shy kid from Class D? What's his name again? Aki? Oh, is that him over there? They all turned, staring, smirking. Aki froze. Every instinct in him screamed to leave. To run to the empty rooftop, or an unused hallway, or anywhere he could disappear. He bit his lip, eyes burning. But just as he started backing away, a voice cut through the crowd. Hey! Shun's voice. Strong. Calm. Aki turned, stunned. Shun stood at the edge of the gymnasium, dressed in a crisp white shirt for his class cafe booth. He looked as effortlessly composed as always. But his eyes were locked on Aki with quiet intensity. Then, he started walking. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just steady. The murmuring around them grew. Like wind building before a storm. And then, in front of everyone, the classmates, the gossipers, the onlookers, Shun reached for Aki's hand. And held it. Fingers interlaced. No hesitation. No retreat. Gasps echoed around them. One of the boys from before made a choking noise. Someone dropped a plastic cup. But Shun didn't flinch. He looked at Aki, only at Aki, and whispered, just loud enough for him to hear. Now they know. Time seemed to pause. Aki stared up at him, lips parted, breath caught in his throat. Shun's hand was warm. Steady. Sure. Aki didn't feel afraid anymore. Not with him. Not like this. After that day, everything changed. Not loudly, not instantly, but steadily, like the first rays of sun after weeks of rain. They ate lunch together. In the classroom. In the courtyard. In full view. Some people still stared, but fewer and fewer each day. The whispers quieted, because they had nothing left to dig up. No secrets. No shame. Aki started sketching again, openly. Shun sometimes sat for him, pretending to study, but sneaking glances when Aki's pencil paused. Their classmates grew used to it. The sight of them walking side by side, heads tilted close in quiet conversation, became ordinary. Beautifully, wonderfully ordinary. One late afternoon, with the festival behind them, and the school halls nearly empty, Shun pulled Aki aside near the stairwell. I never liked crowds, Shun admitted with a soft smile. But holding your hand in front of one kind of made it worth it. Aki blushed. You made a whole gym full of people go quiet. Yeah. Dramatic, huh? A little, Aki said, hiding his grin. Shun leaned in, forehead nearly touching his. I'd do it again. Aki squeezed his hand gently. You already gave me more than I ever expected. And you? Shun's voice dropped, almost like a secret. You made me feel like I could finally be real. No more hiding. No more doubt. Just two hearts learning how to love in their own quiet, brave way, one shared moment at a time. And it had all started with a sketchbook, with a glance, and the first time he held Aki's hand in the schoolyard. Thank you so much for spending time with Boys Love Story today. We hope this episode touched your heart, made you smile, or even gave you a moment to escape into something beautiful. If you enjoyed the story, we'd love for you to support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with other BL lovers out there. Your support means the world and helps us create more stories filled with love, hope, and healing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new chapter. Until next time, stay safe, stay kind, and stay in love.